I'm always on the floor, so you know where I am. I didn't know about the whole GPS espionage. Good morning, and thank you so much for being here today and for holding this breakfast. I think Mike really touched upon everything that could be said about the budget right now. And I do want to just bring up a few other points as well. First of all, I do want to talk about the impact of the St. Vincent's bankruptcy. And I want to assure each and every one of you in this room that I am on the governor's commission to make sure as it proceeds what happens, because St. Vincent's has a huge footprint on Staten Island, and anything that happens to that hospital in Manhattan will affect what happens here on Staten Island. I wanted to let you know that when they first met, I was the only elected official that was not from Manhattan to attend, and I kind of like people kind of looking at me, well, what are you doing here? What does this have to do with you? In Staten Island, I pretty much told them, well, 400 jobs, St. Elizabeth Ann's, Bailey Seton, a visiting nurse, of course the Fort Place property, yada, yada, yada. And I really forced myself on that committee because I really think it's important that we have a voice, a say in what happens to that hospital, because it will affect us in a very huge way. So that's one thing I wanted to let you all know, that I am monitoring that situation very closely. We spoke a little bit about the bill about the segregation of children who are in psychiatric emergency, and I also want to let you know that there's a component part to that bill which would also require a study and recommendations that do deal with the number of beds after psychiatric emergency. So while we hear you loud and clear about, Rumsey having the permission, the green light to go forward and getting the money, I think this is a very good first step, because it would require the state to examine the fact, as you mentioned, that while we only get 1% of 0.1% of the city's money, we do have 6% of the population. So that is a really good first step, because they would then have to address that issue and come up with reasonable, rational explanations as to why we don't get more money. All right, I'm just going to dovetail, and I do appreciate that everyone in this room does understand the financial crisis that the state is in. And just to reiterate and repeat what Mike and Janelle have said, there's no sugarcoating it. There's no standing up here looking you in the eyes and lying to you and stroking you and saying, oh, don't worry, it will be okay. It won't be okay. There will be cuts. You heard me at the HIV breakfast, and we've been telling every agency, irrespective of what good works they do, should please prepare for the very worst, but be assured that we are up there fighting tooth and nail to ensure that the very worst isn't really that bad. And keep in mind too that what we're talking about here today is our programs that have been created predominantly by the New York State Assembly and predominantly by our predecessors, John Lavelle and Elizabeth Connolly. So we have a real vested interest in this historically, as well as personally, those of us who have worked closely with both Betty and John. So rest assured that these are programs that are very close to our hearts, and we have a vested interest in really fighting and trying to protect them as best we can. With that said, thank you so much, and as Mike said, yeah, we really want to hear from you in the next coming days and stuff as we move forward with the budget. But thank you so much.